41 Action News starts right now.
Breaking tonight at 10 o'clock, the University of Kansas basketball team is now listed as part of a federal indictment, and it could involve at least one current player.
Head coach Bill Self just spoke at a basketball banquet in Lawrence about the case. But 41 Action News reporter Dia Wall's there now, but we want to begin right now our team coverage with our sports director, Mick Schaefer. He's going to break this whole thing down. Mick.
How's it going, guys? First of all, KU, one of 4 Adidas schools mentioned in these charges. A lot to unpack here. 35 pages in this indictment. KU mentioned in pages 21 through 26, starting with unnamed parent 3 receiving approximately at least $90,000 from Adidas rep James Gatto. The indictment states that on or about November 9th of 2016, the student athlete and parent 3 signed paperwork with Kansas. Now, 5-star freshman Billy Preston officially committed to KU on November 18th of that year. Of course, Preston never played a regular season game for Kansas. It also lists another top-rated recruit and payments to his unnamed Guardian 1. On August 30th, 2017, in a, quote, surprise decision, the student athlete announced he would attend Kansas. This is the exact day that Silvio De Sousa committed to KU. It later states the player signed with KU on November 13th, which is again the exact date De Sousa signed with KU. Again, no KU players named in this indictment. We're just lining up dates here for you. Speaking of things that lined up, KU had its annual basketball banquet tonight. Dia Wall joins us live from Lawrence. Dia.
Well, Mick, Bill Self called news of that indictment disappointing. He said it kind of put a damper on their banquet tonight. It's supposed to be a joyful way to wrap up and end the season. But Self said he got word around 5:30 this evening, and he's only seen parts of it. I asked him when he looked at it, what he was able to see, if he thinks that this is the tip of the iceberg for KU.
No, I do not. I do not. But, you know, then again, I'll be honest, I haven't seen exactly what was written, and I don't know all the details about it. But I do know that would not be part of the role in which we would play at all. So you know, I'll look forward to hearing more about it. But no, when you say tip of the iceberg in college athletics, I don't know that this is the tip. I think the tip was probably back in September. But I do think this adds to it without question.
Self said for now, any more questions, specific questions, he needs to forward to the University of Kansas. Live in Lawrence, Dia Wall, 41 Action News.
Dia, thank you. And we do want to mention that KU is not the only school listed here. It also involves the University of Louisville, the University of Miami, and North Carolina State University, all Division I schools. New concerns tonight involving Schlitterbahn and KCK.
The company that gave loans to the water park is now questioning if they'll ever get their money back. Right now, the water park owes $174.3 million. A Kansas City-based real estate company filed a report with the SEC saying recent indictments may impact the likelihood of repayment. Those indictments are against these 3 men. They are charged in the death of 10-year-old Caleb Schwab, who died on the Verrückt water slide in 2016. Jeff Henry is the co-owner of Schlitterbahn. John Schooley designed Verrückt. And Tyler Miles, the man you see on the right, he worked as the director of operations.
Tomorrow, state lawmakers will release a report on Missouri Governor Eric Greitens. It all stems from the invasion of privacy charged against him. Right now, a gag order in place for attorneys working the case. A special committee began its investigation after claims Greitens blackmailed a former mistress with nude photos. Local lawmakers hope tomorrow's report is bipartisan.
It's a lot of new information that they're looking at.
I don't want the committee to come back polarized, Republicans versus Democrats. I really hope that what comes back is a unified voice.
Thank you. Governor Greitens has denied the blackmail claims. The special committee will meet in a closed-door meeting before releasing that report tomorrow. Questions tonight about why a gunman shot and killed his girlfriend's father and hurt his 6-year-old daughter.
The shooting hit a 6-year-old in the leg. It happened in Overland Park at a duplex near 83rd and Schweitzer. Police say the boyfriend showed up and then shortly after began arguing with the father.
I saw the baby being taken out, then that kind of broke my heart when I saw the baby. And all I could think of was the baby. And then I saw one of the ladies, I asked her, is everything okay? She told me no.
The victim, police say, is 52-year-old David Slater. Detectives say the suspect is cooperating with them. New tonight, we now know why a man led police on a wild high-speed chase across state lines, even over railroad tracks.
Prosecutors say Ryan Lilly is the man driving this white pickup truck, and court documents reveal Lilly told police he didn't want to go back to jail because of an outstanding warrant. Prosecutors allege he knew the truck was stolen and injured a police officer while trying to get away. That chase lasted about 45 minutes across the metro yesterday.
Break out the shorts. Finally, we can see temperatures in the 70s.
Looking forward to this. Gary with the full forecast. Gary?
That's right. We have some great weather. 52 degrees right now. As we look outside, something is happening. It didn't drop much already. It's 52 degrees at KCI, 53 in Lee Summit, 52 degrees in Lawrence. So the warmer days are here. It's going to pick up steam, that warming trend. It may reach 80 or higher this week, but there's also a winter change to talk about. We'll talk about that coming up here at 10:18.
Gary, thank you. A standoff has ended in the Northland. Several people calling 41 Action News about seeing police in the area of 44th and North Oak. Officers say they were responding to a man who was armed inside of a home with a gun, but we are told the man eventually surrendered. It's a policy that can reshape housing right here in the metro, but Kansas City leaders still want to hear from you.
The city is working on its 5-year housing plan. 41 Action News reporter Ariel Rothfield joins us live now with a closer look. Ariel?
Mike, this task force is going to look at everything from abandoned housing to affordable rent to those evictions. And the people we spoke to today have some very strong opinions.
Whenever someone moves out, it's hard for Ruthie Harris to find someone to move back in.
There are many challenges with vandalism, with a lot of illegal trash dumping. But just having, I think, a sense of pride.
Pride, she thinks, can be restored with a new housing policy, essentially a guide for the city to provide safe, clean, and affordable housing over the next 5 years.
I would like to see our urban core look like our suburban area.
We will try.
And now the city is listening, holding meetings like this one in different neighborhoods to see exactly what neighbors want.
We really haven't taken a holistic approach at a housing policy for the whole city.
In fact, the last housing policy the city created was over a decade ago, before the streetcar, Power and Light, and when Bannister Mall was still standing.
A $30-40 difference in month in housing or $100 makes a major difference in the quality of life.
And in opportunities, Ruthie Harris says Kansas City cannot afford to ignore. At the end of the day, she wants to see growth that's affordable in all neighborhoods.
That's kind of the final conclusion, is to bring up those neighborhoods, to bring up the sense of pride and produce those revenues. Yeah, so when we have company to come and visit, they'll like what they see.
The city is holding 3 more listening sessions, and of course they want to hear from you. We are going to put those times and locations on our website, kshb.com. Reporting live in Kansas City, Ariel Rothfield, 41 Action News.
Ariel, thanks. New tonight, it is a hot-button issue on the streets of Lawrence.
Police want the city to approve surveillance cameras around the city to help combat crime. They say it's what helped them catch 3 suspects in a triple homicide along Mass Street last year. Now the police wants them in key parts of the city, but the Douglas County Libertarians are standing against the idea.
I believe personally that my right to privacy trumps them coming in and just watching what I may be doing, even though you could see me on the street, yes, but the collection of data is just something that's concerning because you don't know how it can be abused.
Lawrence Police Chief Greg Burns stresses this is just an initial plan and the department is still working out the details. An update tonight on parking in downtown KC.
Yeah, police say if you are parked illegally, a grace period will only last through next week. And after that, those warnings will turn into tickets. It's all part of the police department's new effort to crack down on parking issues near the crossroads.
Poor leadership and financial issues, both are listed as concerns for the American Jazz Museum in Kansas City. A consulting firm is calling for a complete rebirth of the facility at 18th and Vine. The report questions numerous missteps. It also calls some of the museum's exhibits, quote, stale.
But this is a great opportunity for us to figure out what is the best way to retool.
City leaders plan to spend the next few months examining the report further to discuss what changes need to be made at the American Jazz Museum. Tonight is the start of the annual 7 Days events.
Aimed at promoting diversity and acceptance of different cultures, tonight's theme was love. Religious leaders of different faiths coming together in Overland Park to speak on one message.
Today, having me to be here with a friend of mine, a pastor and a rabbi, it shows that those three religions, Islam and Christianity and Judaism, all of them in their core values, there's love.
Organizers started the 7 Days events following the deadly Jewish Community Center shootings in 2014. They run until Monday, April 16th.
After hundreds of complaints, the FDA is now cracking down on a popular birth control method, the new requirement that is now put in place.
And a Kansas woman says her smartwatch saved her life. The condition had helped her catch before it was too late.
We just completed our first 100 days of 2018. There's only been 2 70-degree days. That's about to change. Our forecast coming up.
You're watching 41 Action News at 10. Clear, complete coverage.
You're watching 41 Action News at 10. Clear, complete coverage. With Rhiannon, Mike Marusarz. Your forecast with Gary Lezak, Kansas City's weather leader. And sports with Mick Schaefer. Thanks for watching 41 Action News.
It was once a popular choice for birth control.
But now, after thousands of women have reported problems with Assure, the FDA is taking action, saying it's unacceptable that women haven't been warned about the risks. Darcy Spears has more.
Having to have migraines, having to have severe back pain, pelvic pain. My stomach started protruding abnormally.
The doctor told me that it was perforating my intestines and my bowels, so that's why I was having the tremendous pain that I was having daily.
These Las Vegas women and many more across the country shared their stories of pain, confusion, and denial. Life-changing symptoms they linked to Assure, a tiny coil inserted in the fallopian tubes to prevent pregnancy. Since our investigation nearly 5 years ago, the FDA has received over 20,000 reports about Assure. They've taken steps to require warnings, but now the federal agency is imposing a unique type of restriction involving sales and distribution, forcing manufacturer Bayer to only sell the device to doctors who can verify that they're telling patients about all the risks. Based on a growing body of evidence, the FDA says Assure requires additional meaningful safeguards to ensure women can make fully informed decisions about risk when considering Assure.
That was Darcy Spears reporting. According to the FDA, Assure sales dropped 70% after they required Bayer to include a warning and a checklist. In a statement, Bayer is calling it a label update and says in part the benefit-risk profile of Assure has not changed and remains positive.
Facebook CEO is sitting in the hot seat today as he testified before Congress about your privacy. Mark Zuckerberg says Facebook is cooperating with special counsel Robert Mueller involving the Russian meddling investigation in the 2016 election. The social media network under fire after a consulting firm took user data to potentially influence elections.
We didn't take a broad enough view of our responsibility, and that was a big mistake. And it was my mistake, and I'm sorry.
Facebook is now notifying those whose data was at risk and linking to a privacy tool with steps to delete the data. The social media network also plans to hire thousands of people to secure this site. Tonight, signs of rebirth in the Red Bridge Shopping Center in South KC.
City and business leaders held a ribbon cutting tonight. It's for a new Blue Moose Grill. They say the new business is a hopeful indicator of growth in the area.
We've been working on this for years because it was at 50% or below in vacancy and going down quickly. And so it was seen as a big risk for a lot of developers that came in and took a look at it.
Councilman Scott Taylor added that developers are reinvesting in the area after Cerner and Burns McDonald expansions.
Cole Haan is the latest store to announce it is leaving the Country Club Plaza. The store is closing May 16th. The vice president for Cole Haan says it did not want to leave, but added that the plaza owners had alternative plans for their space. No word from them on what that might be. New tonight, one Kansas woman is crediting her smartwatch for saving her life.
That's because it helped her learn that she had a potentially deadly heart condition before it was too late. The woman says her watch notified her that her heart rate was way too high. Since it was still high the next morning, she went to urgent care.
With the lab work, they noticed my thyroid was out of whack. I had no idea that even existed, but can be fatal if left untreated.
Come to find out, it could be a life-threatening thing, so a lot kind of saved her life when you find that out.
Doctors diagnosed her with thyroid storm, which affects the heart. She now has it under control and credits the watch for catching it.
Now, here's Kansas City's most accurate forecast from Chief Meteorologist Gary Lezak.
Well, today's our 100th day of the year, tomorrow the 101st day of the year, and tomorrow will be the warmest day of 2018. 78 degrees, all right? It's only been 70 or higher twice this whole year so far. What a really cold start to the year thus far. All right, we look outside on our KB Complete Sky View network. Our current temperature is still 52 degrees, not bad. South-southeast wind at 10. The sun rises tomorrow at 6:51. The days are getting longer. It's going to get harder to get colder. However, winter's going to leave, but winter's going to say hi again sometime this weekend. I'll tell you about that in a second. South winds gusting to 40 miles per hour tomorrow, so a little bit too windy, but we'll take the wind as a sacrifice to temperatures in the 70s. I just upgraded from 77 to 78 degrees for tomorrow's high. What's causing the warm up is this ridge is coming right over us, springtime ridge, but it gets followed up by this big trough. When you have a trough, that usually will draw moisture from the Gulf of Mexico. This will be an impacting major storm. What will the impacts be on Kansas City? Will we have thunderstorms? Will we have snow? As it goes by, it will be cold enough to snow by our third Sunday in a row. So we'll see how that sets up. Not sold on that yet, but there's definitely a chance. There will be a blizzard up in the northern plains and severe weather to our southeast. Chance of severe weather here seems fairly low at the moment. We bring you that most accurate forecast, and we got within 2 today. Got up to 61, 59 our forecast. So Ashante person of Kansas City, Missouri, you're in the running for the $500 gift card we'll give away at the end of this month. When we get it right, we can pull out a name and go to kshb.com/3degree to enter. The forecast tomorrow, 45 degrees to start the day. Here we go. The upgrade. Doesn't that look nice? 78 degrees, winds gusting to 40, and there's another 78-degree day. Look at the end, 78 next week as well, but in between that storm system that may actually bring us some more snowflakes on Sunday. The 2 days that were 70 degrees or higher this year, only 2 times. That's it. February 27th, it was 71. March 15th, it was 76. Every other day has been under.
So it really might snow on Sunday?
It really might snow.
Now, why focus on that part?
Now, why did you? I didn't stress that.
He even had notes.
About he was trying to distract all of us.
Say snow.
We're hip.
Here.
Me and the viewer are hip to your game.
70s.
It's weird because I've hit the pool like 3 days this year already. So I'm
really?
The third day, yeah, exactly. So it's on,
you
right?
were like in Florida or Texas.
Yeah, that was it.
Final 4.
Yeah. Hey guys, we have more reaction from Bill Self coming up here in sports. Plus the Royals were at it again, and so was Mike. Not Marusarz, Mustakas. Eminem, though, just like Mike. Would it be enough, though, MJ?
Both of them have Milas, too.
Oh, they do?
Oh, nice.
As we replace your with John Hamm, Emily Ratajkowski, Sheree Trotter, plus we have Master Champion Patrick Reed, music from Khalid and Normani. Stay tuned, it's great.
On 41 Action News is sponsored by Security Bank of Kansas City. Now, it's the Fenton Nissan 41 Action News Sports Report.
Don't let the other team score runs. Good evening. That's been the Royals' secret so far this year. 3 wins, 3 shutouts. So every time the opposition has scored, they've won. Royals putting that silly stat to test tonight. Eric Skoglund the start, and right away it's the Mariners scoring a run. First inning. It's bad news for our little stat. 1-0 M's, and with 2 outs in the second, it's Gene Segura doubling. 2 runs would score. Mariners would take a 4-0 lead. 4th of the Royals, big inning last night. Moose, big swing tonight. Big fly, too. 2nd of the year, that cuts the lead in half, but Seattle guys, they weren't done, scoring runs. Royals bullpen still struggling here. Kyle Seager off Brian Flynn. 2 more score. It's 8-2 Mariners. 8-3 in the 6th. Bases loaded. Chance to get it back. One swing or not. Royals fall. First game they haven't held a lead in all season long. Well, it's supposed to be a celebration of Final Four season. Instead, was the backdrop to a media crunch for all the wrong reasons in Lawrence tonight. The Jayhawks gathering for their annual basketball banquet just hours after a federal indictment came down mentioning them in charges against Adidas's James Gatto. 2 unnamed KU players referred to in the charges. Dates matched them up to possibly being Silvio De Sousa and Billy Preston. De Sousa was a key contributor late for KU. Preston never played. Bill Self now not talking Final Four.
I did not see anywhere, nor do I believe that we were thought of to be anything other than a victim in the situation. It's disappointing. Certainly, it took away from what was a really nice evening tonight.
Our countdown to the NFL Draft continues tonight. Last night we profiled defensive lineman Nathan Shepard. Tonight we stay in the trenches with defensive tackle Tim Settle of Virginia Tech. Tim is a large human, 6'3", 335 pounds. Chiefs met with him at that combine right there. Settle redshirted and only played 2 years of college football, 12.5 tackles for loss, 4 sacks, even had a block kick last season. Was a freshman All-American the year before for those Hokies. Settle was a blue chip recruit out of high school, the number 19 overall recruit. His production jumped in 2017 thanks to dropping a lot of weight. He's projected as a first or second round guy. Chiefs' first pick is in the 2nd round. Greatest thing ever, the Loyola basketball team was at the Cubs game today, throwing out first pitches. That's our guy, Ben Richardson from Blue Valley Northwest. Nice. Then, of course, Sister Jean tossing one out as well. And look, you got to bury it in the dirt. You got to bury that breaking ball in the dirt at Wrigley Field, okay? It's a hitter's park. She knows. Get that thing down there. That's the greatest thing ever.
That is the greatest thing ever.
All right, well, I don't disappoint. Every single night, I top it. Oh, maybe I do disappoint. I don't know.
You're great. We'll be back.
Pressure's on.
He was on Sports Radio 810 today. They played Family Feud, and one of the questions was, name an American League manager. I go, Ned Yost.
Yeah, and then after that, we're like,
good. You know what I mean?
Good many. Yeah.
Oh, my. Hey, listen, 7-day forecast tomorrow, 78. Watch tomorrow morning. We'll begin at 4:30 a.m. with an update of this forecast.
Good. Let's hope it doesn't include snow.
Terry Francona.
Oh, that's one. There's
I
a
like
lot
the
of
Rachel McAdams question better.
Yeah, Mike Sosha.
Aaron Boone.